Email from Sandra. Thanks heaps for the photo of your little boy. He looks so totally involved in his play, doesn't he? And yes, of course I won't show anyone else. You asked me why I was so accepting and not surprised by your revelations about Jason, and I've given it a lot of thought. Can't honestly say it was anything about Jason personally that made me not surprised. But when you told me about Jason being an adult baby and on reading about adult babies on the websites you gave me, it seemed to me the most unsurprising thing in the world. Ever since I was a very little girl, I felt that females should be in charge of males, that this should be the natural order of things. It's not fundamentally a matter of being superior, it's just that in so many ways women are better equipped psychologically to be in charge. When I was at university, I had a chance to study matriarchal societies as well as learn to critique our own society from a feminist perspective. The destructiveness of patriarchal societies is overwhelming. Violence, crime, drug abuse, child abuse, in fact almost any negative statistic you can name is at least 90% male. They are the gender which produce the countless weight of misery and heartache in this world. Why? It's because males are clearly emotionally and relationally the weaker sex and yet are given the power. It's a fatal combination. Deep down, men know that physical strength apart, they are the weaker sex. They may not admit it, but at some level know it to be true. That is why they are afraid of us. They too often make up for their weakness by using physical strength on us. If they can be freed from the burden of pretending that they have to be in charge and surrender to the truth that they need a woman's care and guidance, I believe they will find a place of contentment to live their life. I've come to believe most of the men I know would benefit a lot from being put back in nappies and returned to the nursery with a kind but strict mummy. Perhaps the A.B. community intuitively understand this. The sad thing is so many of them have been socialized to despise that truth, so they end up despising themselves for holding it. What is equally sad is so many women also have been brainwashed and do not know how to use their natural feminine strength to take control of men and socialize them into their proper submissive role. So I'm with you, sister. Love, Sandra. My birthday today. Got 2 presents, one from Jason, a lovely scarf, and one from little JC, a card. It was really sweet. Clearly JC had labored long and hard over this card. On the front he had drawn a pretty picture of me, a stick figure in a bright dress and a happy smile. Inside the card in childish handwriting he had written, "I love you, mummy, you're the best mummy in all the world." Followed by lots of kisses and hug symbols, and I know that this was the present he thought most about and which he had invested the most emotional energy into. Sandra of course rang me for my birthday and we had a good talk about little JC, as I now call him when chatting to her. I sometimes find myself talking about him like a proud mother as more and more I make the mental transition from seeing us primarily as husband and wife to seeing him primarily as my little boy and me his mummy. Jason on the other hand still constantly swings from man to little boy and back again. At least I have another woman to share all this with. I no longer feel alone and Sandra is so encouraging. Both Sandra and I have a school holiday coming up. I have been talking to her about coming to stay for a couple of weeks. Jason thinks that 2 weeks is far too long and we had a big argument about it last night. I pointed out that he would be at work for most of the time, and I needed something to look forward to during my holidays. Although he hasn't yet come out and said it, I am sure he is thinking that with Sandra in the house his freedom to be my little boy will almost be non-existent. Sandra and I have talked some more about her coming to stay. I was honest with her about Jason's less than enthusiastic response. Her suggestion was that I tell Jason that she knows that he is an adult baby and Auntie Sandra completely accepts him and that as a preschool teacher is used to looking after little ones. Sandra thinks that no little boy would be able to resist the idea of 2 women looking after him. I am not at all sure. I think Jason is going to feel very threatened and betrayed if he found out that I had talked to Sandra about him being a little boy and especially that he enjoys wearing nappies. This is going to take some planning.